Good morning, everybody. This is Mario, and I am bringing to you a new podcast. This is going to be just a brief introduction of who I am and what my podcast is going to consist of. Don't really have a whole lot of material on this particular podcast, but my next podcast will be filled with a lot of exciting, intriguing, little tidbits of some evidence I've gathered in the past. This is going to be a paranormal podcast, and I got to say that my main interest when it comes to paranormal, the unknown, is the spirit world. I grew up in South Florida. I lived in a house that was built around the 1940s. Not a super old house, but it was old enough where it had some character. Ever since I was about 9 or 10, I did have some weird experiences, and around when I was a teenager, I had some pretty obvious experiences, which really piqued my interest in the paranormal. Right around the time I was about 12 or 13, we started playing around with a Ouija board at home, and I know it's going to sound very cliche, but I can tell you that kind of awoke something in that house. I'm not sure if it's something that's always been in that house, or if it's something that we may have welcomed to the house by playing the Ouija board. But right around the time we started playing with that Ouija board, we started getting some weird happenings in the house. Basically, we got a Ouija board. It was me and my big brother and his ex-wife for the most part. My sister was gone to college, so me, my big brother, and his ex-wife, we used to sit there and play Ouija board sometimes right after school. I did notice that my brother's ex-wife, she started playing on that Ouija board almost every day. After a couple of weeks of having it, she would just sit there by herself and play it, which was very freaky and kind of odd. Me and my brother, one day we sat there watching her, and that planchette was just flying across the board, answering questions. I would ask questions. She would get responses right away. It almost became like an addiction, which again, that's, it may sound very cliche, but hey, it's the truth, and that's what happened. That's how everything started in my house. After the whole Ouija board thing, one night I woke up. It was right around, again, gonna sound cliche, but you know what? When you learn about the paranormal, this stuff really makes sense when you put it all together. It was around 3. It was like 3-ish, and it basically woke me up from just how loud the noise was of whatever this was that was coming through my wall. It appeared to be an old man in some kind of weird, loose, rickety type clothing, but it was coming through my wall. It came through one side of the wall. It looked like it was glowing. It was like a weird, sort of a misty, foggy glow, and he just went right through one wall, and then he went right out the window. The central air conditioning unit, part of that unit was right next to my room, so I could tell if the unit was on or not. The air conditioner, it was you can hear a pin drop from how quiet it was. So the air conditioner wasn't on. I saw this thing go through the wall. Two other factors that scared the crap out of me was the fan was moving when it went through the wall, and also I had a flag. I had an American flag on I thought it looked cool. I had a flag on my window, and when this thing went through the window, the flag started moving as well. So whatever that was, it was pretty powerful, and it just went right through my room. So I'm not sure if that could have been probably part of my mom, who was very heavy into prayer. She's a practicing Catholic, very faithful Catholic, and she did always tell me that she always would stay up and pray for us. So it could have been her prayers at work, trying to get rid of whatever was in the house. I remember we didn't tell her right away about the Ouija board because we were scared that she was gonna get pissed off at us. But I think when she did find out that we were playing all the time, she did start she did start doing some praying. But I don't remember right around that time if she did a cleansing, but I know that there were some cleansings done at the house. But anyways, that's where everything started for me. That was one of my main experiences that I remember very clearly, very vividly. There was other things that happened. My big sister, unfortunately, when she was around her early 20s, she had a fiance at the time who she was very in love with, and I'm not going to get into too many details with this. I don't think she would appreciate that, but I'm just going to say that unfortunately he did take his own life, and it was very sad. I knew him pretty good. I liked the guy. He was pretty cool. Sometimes I used to take rides with him when he would come see my sister, and he would go do errands. He was a really, really nice guy. You know, I guess he had his mental instability that not everybody knew about. But anyways, right after he took his life, my sister was next door at the next door neighbor's house, and she was sitting on the couch, and they were talking about him. And right at the moment that they were talking about him, she saw a Lego block just fly off the counter right across from where they were sitting. That was the first thing that happened. And then there was another night where I was home. I was in my room, and the room that I had moved into was a room where she used to stay right at the time when she started dating this guy. So I don't know if that had anything to do with the I guess you could say the residual effect. Possibly, maybe he was familiar with that room, and this is why he kind of made his presence in that room. Or I don't know if he was trying to give me a message. One night, I did wake up. Look, I had the type of closet where it was two mirrors. You would slide the mirror back, and that would be part of the closet. And so it was two mirrors, full-size mirrors. So in the middle of the night, it started out by just a bad feeling I was getting. I did have this spooky feeling going on, and I woke up and I looked at the mirror, and when I looked at the mirror, I saw his face, and it was almost like morphing. It looked like his face was shaking. It almost looked like he was having a seizure, and you could see this guy's face in my mirror staring at me, and it just looked really crazy. So that was another real spooky event that I had in that house. I'm just going to say one more real quick, and the reason I'm telling you this is because this is the stuff that got me, first of all, believing that there's definitely another dimension that we don't always see all the time that is around us. And basically, if you don't pay attention, you might miss it. But once in a while, things do happen. I think a lot of us just either decide not to pay attention to it, or we just don't notice. But I guess you could say my attention span at that time, when it came to that, it was very very heightened, and it's probably just because I paid more attention to it. I wasn't living such a busy, crazy life other than school. Anyways, I came home one day, right around the time, it was around the time, probably a couple months after my sister's ex-fiance passed away. I was in the house, sitting on the couch. I was watching TV, and I was sitting there watching my. I was just watching a soap opera. God knows, I don't even remember what it was, but I was sitting down. I was watching the TV, and all of a sudden, on one window, on one of the windows on the side of the house, as clear as can be, the window, you hear a knocking, really loud knocking on the window. I jumped up. I thought maybe somebody was there. As soon as I jumped up, another window knocked on the other side of the house. And then the other window. Basically, every single window of the house, it was a very loud, very, very loud, like it wanted to make sure that it was just loud. It was super loud. On each window, it went around the house, and it was boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. For a second there, I thought it was my brother playing a trick on me. So I jumped up, I ran to the back of the house. There was nobody there. I ran to the front of the house because I was telling myself, I'm gonna catch him. I'm like, I'm gonna catch my brother trying to mess with me. But I got up, I looked all around my house. There was nobody there. There was nobody anywhere. And then I thought maybe it could be my neighbor, because we did have a neighbor who used to hang out with my brother, and I thought maybe he was playing a trick on me. And I went next door, and guess what? He wasn't even there that day. At least when I went there, he wasn't there. Just my other neighbor, which was his big sister. She was there. I told her what happened. She saw that I was like just freaking out. So I had no idea what the hell's going on. Scared the crap out of me. Till today, I still ask my brother 20 years later, or probably a little, maybe 30 years. It's been a while. Time flies, but I still ask my brother about that now, and he tells me, nope, he doesn't know anything about that. He had nothing to do with that. It was really weird. Anyways, this is the kind of stuff that got my interest in the paranormal. So I have been doing some investigating last couple of years. Probably over the last 5 years, I did some investigating. First 2 years, I did go to a bunch of places here in Georgia. There's a bunch of cool historical places to go to here. So I did go to a lot of cool spots, a lot of old buildings. I'm going to be posting these pictures up on my website, which is parasitech.com. Again, that's parasitech.com, parascitech.com. That is my website, and I am just trying to get everything up and running. I still haven't really put too much on there. Been working my butt off last 5 years, so and I just got a 2-year-old who's been keeping me real busy. Me and my fiance, she is a bundle of joy, but she is also a bundle of energy. So she keeps us pretty busy. Anyway, so I do have a lot of cool stuff that I'm going to be posting on that website. I'm also gonna get some audio files. I got to get some audio clips and play them for you guys. I got a few Class A EVPs that I've recorded, and I will definitely put them on this podcast as soon as I get a chance, which will probably be tonight. I probably won't put it on this podcast. It'll probably be on the next podcast. Just to give you an idea of one of the Class A EVPs that I have, I went into an old jail that's here in Atlanta. It's called the Prison Farm. This place